Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 9 ways to be continually reading. So I just had a video that I'll link up here about reasons why we should be reading all the time. And this is 9 ways of how you can do that. Because sometimes it seems like a really daunting task to be reading all the time. But I'm gonna try to give you some simple ideas of ways that you can always be reading. So if you are new to my channel, I created this channel as a homeschooling resource to keep you continually learning, to give you different ideas on curriculum you can use, organizational things you can do, and different spiritual ideas or thoughts that I had I'd like to share with you. So if you're interested in those things, please hit that subscribe button and let's talk about these 9 things. So our first one is have quiet time. Guys, quiet time is a lifesaver. From the time my kids stopped taking naps, because now all of them don't nap at all, which is, it's sad. It's sad when that happens, but from the time that they stopped taking naps, my oldest one, I just always had him have quiet time. And you're like, that's impossible. Like, they don't listen, which is true. They don't listen. Sometimes they're like running in and out, and maybe it's not very quiet at that time, but as you keep the routine and keep pushing them to do it, they start to get a little bit better at it. And so then you have this chunk of time where you can do stuff and it's not so bad. Like, you can sit down and read for a few minutes, or you could maybe clean, or you could do a project or something else. So have quiet time. Start from the time they're little, and if you didn't do that, you can still do it now. You just have to be consistent about it. Parenting in general is just about being consistent. And so if you're consistent about it, then eventually they will get used to it, but you just have to be consistent. So be consistent, quiet time. It's a lifesaver. Do it. So the second thing is to make sure you read fluff. You're like, what the heck? So make sure that you're not just reading all these really intense books, because it's really hard to constantly be reading stuff if it's just super heavy. And I have books that require me to sit down and sometimes take a few notes and stuff like that. And then I have books that I can just sit and I could read them anywhere. If it's super loud, if it's super quiet, they don't take a lot of time to focus on, but it keeps me reading. I find that if I stop reading just in general, it's a little bit harder for me to get back into a routine. So adding in some different fluff, some different genres helps you to keep reading and be excited about reading. So the third one, again, I just have my little notebook here so I remember things, is to listen to books. And you can use Audible. I am not good at listening to books. I don't like it. I'm not a good listener, guys. I just have never been. It was like my lowest scoring thing in elementary school. I don't like listening to stuff. I'm just not very good at it. But I know a lot of people are, and that's how a lot of people get their kind of reading in, which I have mixed feelings about listening, being reading, but it's better than nothing, guys. So it's okay. You can listen to books and still call it reading. That's fine. And so I know Audible is one that people use a lot, and there's other ones, but that's really the only one I'm not super familiar with it, but familiar. So listen to books, that will help a lot. So the fourth thing that I really love to use is Kindle Unlimited. And it was something that I didn't start until just recently, probably last fall sometime. But I really have enjoyed it, and I use it mostly for those fluff books that I was telling you about. So I have my Kindle. It's very easy for me just to take wherever. If I'm sitting in the car while my son has piano lessons or whatever, I can just bring my Kindle with me and just easily be reading while I'm waiting for him. So you can put other, I guess, harder books on it if you want. It's just when I'm reading the books that require more thinking, I need to take notes and write stuff down, and that's harder for me to do on the Kindle. You can mark stuff up and take notes on your Kindle. I just don't like to do it. And so I just like having my Kindle and having Kindle Unlimited, because there's usually a lot of like fluff books on there that are free that I can just keep downloading. And again, it's nothing that's like super substantial, but it keeps me in that mindset of reading all the time. So I really like having my Kindle, and I like using Kindle Unlimited for that. The fifth thing is to set a time of when you're going to read. Some people don't necessarily need a time, they'll just sit and read whenever, but some people will only get it done if they set a time, or So maybe not just a time of day, but you could just say, oh, I'll read 10 minutes every single day. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as I sit down and read for 10 minutes or 30 minutes, or I'll read at 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock once my kids are in bed or something like that. So if you have a set time, it's a lot easier for you to actually do it every single day and to make sure you're continually reading. So the next one is number 5. Oh, hi. I forgot you were there. There was something on my phone. Oh, so that's number 6. What number are we on? That's number 6. I forgot because guess what? I was on my phone. So the 6th thing is put your phone down. Put it away, away, out of the way. I guess, if you're listening to books, then you'll have your phone, but I encourage you to set your phone down at least sometime during the week. I know it's hard. And to sit down and read a book. And if you have your phone far away from you, then it'll be easier to focus because you won't be distracted every little ding it makes. So set your phone down. So the next thing is to join a book club. There might be one in your neighborhood. There might be one through the library. Some homeschooling groups have their own book club. There's a lot of different opportunities. If you can't find one, then you start one. You can do it. You start your own book club. So I've been exposed to so many different books because of book club. And we get together, we talk about them, and things I just normally wouldn't think about, I am exposed to because I was willing to go to book club. So this is one of the books. We just read this one like a month ago before we couldn't go anywhere anymore. So sold on a Monday, and I really like this book. It's not amazing writing, but the story is amazing, and I thought it was very well written considering what it is. So I just really like this book a lot, but I don't think I probably would have ever looked at it if it hadn't been for book club and we were able to have a good discussion about it. So it was great. So the 8th thing is to read stuff that you study. So my major is in human development. So something that helps me be continually reading is to read books about human development. So these are just a few. So Uniquely Human is a book about autism. We have Boys Adrift, which I've talked about before, and Glow Kids. I haven't read this one yet, but these are all human development books, and I have a ton more of them. But I feel like reading is so much more interesting when it's focused towards something that you really like. And so maybe you don't like what you studied in school, or maybe didn't go to school, I don't know. Whatever, but find something that you like to study and learn about, and then go get books and read about it. Maybe it's about cars. Go find some books and read about it. Okay, and that will just keep you continually reading, and it'll just be more exciting for you. The last thing is to read chapter books to your kids. It doesn't matter what age they are. My kids were pretty young, and my husband was reading Lemony Snicket to them. I'm like, what is it called? And so they loved that. And some other books, I just have some simple ones. We read all of the Magic Treehouse books last fall. Every single day we just read a little bit, and we made it through all of them. I think we have like 28 or something. I don't know how many there are total, but so these ones are pretty simple. And if you have a little bit older kids, they could probably read them by themselves because they're pretty easy reading. But it gets you exposure, and you're still reading. Even if it's not something specifically for you, you're still reading every day, which is very important. This one, Hatchet, my husband just finished reading this to our oldest, who's 8 now, and he really liked this. They just would, at nighttime, he would just read it to him. And then Artemis Fowl as well. So these are, a little bit harder books, but my husband would just sit and read to him, and they'd talk about it. And so it gets, my husband is still reading, my son is being exposed to reading, and happy day, everybody's reading. So those are just 9 ways you can be continually reading. And I love reading. I know that it does great things for us and for our minds, and helps expose us to the wonderful world. So go pick up a book and find a way to read today. And if you like this type of video, please give it a thumbs up, and we will see you next time.